Very good afternoon to every one of you. Thank you for taking time to join us today and looking at this overwhelming response. I think we're really in for a big treat. Well, it's a pleasure having all of you here this afternoon. Wu Guanzhong Traveling with the Master, which opens today, is an exciting exhibition by the gallery for one very good reason, and that it is the first to be co-curated by docents. The exhibition was conceived at a time when travel was curtailed during the pandemic, and it renews perceptions of travel by exploring physical journeys and beyond, including the conceptual, imaginative, and the emotive aspects of travel. Traveling with the Master is the 6th edition of the Wu Guanzhong Exhibition Series, which we launched in 2015 when the gallery opened. And it is devoted to researching this very important artist's life and his art practice. But unlike past exhibitions in the series, which were developed by our museum curators, this exhibition adopts a new approach to have both museum professionals and the docent community come together to co-create this unique project. The inspiration behind this new approach comes from one of Wu Guanzhong's own core artistic notions, which is to connect with both the art experts as well as the wider public through his artworks. And this also echoes the gallery's goal of wanting to engage and present diverse voices and continues our ongoing and dedicated efforts to becoming an inclusive and a welcoming people's museum. With guidance from our curator, Jennifer Lam, as well as the wider gallery team, the group of docents, whom we have here sitting up front, Gertrude Tan, Stella Rong, Queenie Chow, Tina Nixon, whom you will hear from later, draw on the gallery's significant collection of works by Wu Guanzhong to bring refreshing new perspectives to his works and practice. And many from this group have faithfully followed and guided the Wu Guanzhong Exhibition Series since its inauguration. Out of dedication, these docents independently studied this master and his art, including organizing trips to places overseas that Wu himself had been to and captured in his artworks. So you will see personal sharing, personal anecdotes from the docents themselves, and you'll see them come to life in this particular exhibition. So Queenie, Tina, Stella, and Gertrude bring together their study of the master's art and biography, as well as their personal encounters with his works. They are open as to sharing these aspects, including trips to sites that Wu himself captured on canvas, breathes tremendous passion and life into the exhibition. Wu Guanzhong himself was a giving teacher and artist who made a concerted effort through his paintings and writings to connect with all his audiences, regardless of background and age. It is therefore especially poignant that the docent curators have been equally generous with their stories, their energy, and their time, traversing unfamiliar terrain on this project, which they will share, I'm sure, later, embodying Wu's spirit of adventure. And we are extremely grateful to all 4 of you for your dedication to the art of this modern master and to the continuous support from our wider docent community, many of them are here as well, in fulfilling the gallery's mission of presenting outstanding and innovative programs to those who visit us. Lastly, we hope that as you explore Wu Guanzhong's art through this exhibition, you will also be inspired by the spirit of Wu and appreciate his works and our world by connecting and relating to your own experiences. So thank you all for coming this afternoon, and I wish you a lovely afternoon.
It's great to see a lot of friendly faces and new friends as well. Thank you for taking this afternoon to join us. My name is Jennifer. I'm the gallery curator on this project. So as continue from Xiao's speech, I'd like to share a little bit more about this process, how this process of collaboratively or rather how this collaborative and creative journey began last year. So the gallery, we first met with the wider docent team to seek if anyone is keen, to take on this adventure with us, because really without their input, we wouldn't have realized this exhibition. It is with their encouraging responses that then we went back to create a short guideline and materials to provide the community and interested members to work on and submit a proposal within a month's time. So the guideline that we set up emphasized 3 points. The first is to focus on the 129 artworks that Wu Guanzhong had donated to us in Singapore. Second, the proposal has to be made as a group of 3 to 5 participants with a mix of English-speaking docents and Chinese-speaking docents. And lastly, the proposal must not repeat any concepts or narrative that was previously realized by the gallery. So on the day of the submission deadline, we received 6 proposals. Our internal panel, made up of members from different departments, we carefully examined each proposal based on the innovativeness of its curatorial concept, the potential for outreach, team dynamics, as well as what resources were required and how feasible it was given this short time frame. So, from the 6 proposals, we shortlisted 4 for interview, and further on, we deliberated on 2. And here we have the final team, and I shall, in case I made any mistake, I shall read their bio a little. Okay. So, first we have Queenie Chow. Say hello. Queenie moved to Singapore in 1993 to pursue a career in the aviation industry. Right now, she's a freelance trainer for business Mandarin courses to local institutes and also a freelance Mandarin teacher to non-native learner. She has been volunteering as a docent with us since 2015 and even earlier than that at Singapore Art Museum and at Asia Civilization Museum. Next, we have Tina Nixon. Tina first moved to Singapore in 1994 and was trained as one of the first docents to guide the Singapore Art Museum when it opened in 1996. She then went on, or rather, her life brought her to many different places, and she worked with, say, Christie's at Hong Kong, the Art Society and the Metropolitan Museum in US, as well as the Royal Academy in London. Coming back to Singapore in 2010. She joined the National Gallery as a passionate docent since 2015. Okay. Next off, we have Gertrude Tan, please. Gertrude is a full-time lecturer at a tertiary institution here locally. And she has been an active docent for over 20 years and was actually the one who also helped us set up our docent training program here at the National Gallery. Yes, and she, thank us for giving her opportunity to see and learn all this fascinating and diverse art from Singapore and Southeast Asia. Thank you, Gertrude. And last but not least, we have our wonderful Stella, Rong, Yiyi. Yiyi moved and settled in Singapore in 2005. She works at the finance sector and dealing with numbers every day. So it is really through volunteering as a docent here in Singapore at the National Gallery and also at Asian Civilization Museum that she began to embrace and find this new source of joy. So now, without further ado, let me hand over the mic to the team here to share more with you on how this journey of collaborative curation came about and also some behind-the-scenes insights.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the opening program. We'll start off by sharing with you how we form our team, the team formation. There are 4 aspects, that help us form this, this team. So I'll start off by sharing with you, I think one of the criteria when we form this team, I'll start off by saying that I only know one person. That's Queenie. All right, and then it is because of our love and our passion for Wu Guanzhong and his art that, pull us together. So one of the things is that we need to be very familiar. As what Jennifer has shared, we only have 6 months for this entire process. So one of the very important criteria of forming this team is that we need to be very, very familiar with Wu Guanzhong, his work, and his philosophy. I'll hand over to Tina to elaborate.
Yeah, and I think the next point was that we're all very passionate about this artist Wu Guanzhong, and I joined the team as the last member of the team, but I knew Gertrude because both Gertrude and I had given lectures on Wu Guanzhong, and obviously Gertrude knew Queenie knew Stella, and when we initially talked about forming a team, I was, as I say, the last member in, and I was very grateful to join this very esteemed group of ladies who are incredibly knowledgeable and familiar with his work.
我们用中文啊，大家好，因为这个是双语的一个开幕的节目，所以我们刚好，我们这2位是国家美术馆的中文导览员。那就是要参与这样的一个活动，我们知道其实我们是需要付出很多时间，那就是因为我们其实大家各自都有一些工作啊，所以我们到底能够投入多少精力，投入多少时间呢？其实也是一个很大的考验。比如说 Gertrude 和 Stella 他们都有一个全职的工作，但是呢，就是本着大家这样的一个热情，我们走在一起，然后我们真的是每一个任务都按时完成。就是我们的星期天，我们的周末，我们的就是非工作时间，几乎全部都是花在这个筹划这个展览的这个事情上。真的，每一位都付出他最大的努力。
大家好，大家下午好。我是容Yiyi，那我跟Queenie2个人就是惠利，是美术馆的国家美术馆的中文导览员，那这次的展览也是很特别的一个展览，就是我们的所有的是一个双语的中英文双语的一个展览，包括我们所有展厅的文字的文字的介绍啊，包括一些宣传资料的出版的印刷品等等都是双语的，所以就是语言都需要非常精通。那我们就非常幸运有惠利以及艳华就Gertrude他们2位是非常精通双语的伙伴。那对于这个吴冠中来讲，就是他的其实中文资料非常多，所以可能在研究方面中文会有一个比较天然的一个优势。但是呢，我们国家美术馆的可能主要的工作语言都是英文呐，可能会议啊，我们讨论啊都是以英文为主，所以其实这个双语就是非常就是重要了。那我们这个团队就非常有意思，就是4个人都来自非常不同的背景，像是艳华她是土生土长的新加坡人， 惠利她是也是新加坡人，但是她其实在很多地方都生活过，也旅行过，就是非常热衷于旅行。然后 Tina 来自英国，我是来自中国，所以我们可能就是可以从不同的角度、不同的眼光去看待这个吴冠中的艺术，那可能可以构成一个更加多元的一个视角。所以我觉得我们这个团队是非常很完美的一个搭配，可以说。然后我们从不太认识，然后后来一直到合作无间，其实是都成了好朋友。那非常有意思，就是Queenie还给 Tina 起了一个中文名字，可以分享一下。
她叫倪天娜，Nixon 变倪 ，Tina 变天娜。
我经常跟我们的伙伴开玩笑，我说我们这个4个人的组合很像我们的 East-West Line。Stella 是 at the end of the east， 然后 Tina is at the end of the west， 所以呢 Gertrude 和我呢就是刚好在中间，我们像就是我们的东西线哈。
Next, shall we discuss the conceptual framework, how we come out with the conceptual development? I guess one of the criteria that was given to us by National Gallery is to work on our existing 129 artwork that was endowed or given to us. So the availability of the artwork actually helped us to shape this entire narrative. And of course, time constraint is also another very important criteria. And the workshops and the research and writing, these are the 4 aspects. So maybe we'll go through each aspect in detail.
So the selection of the artworks was probably the easiest and the hardest of all. I mean, you start off thinking, oh yeah, I'm like a kid in a sweetie shop, right? I can just choose what I want. And these are my favorites. And then Gertrude said, well, these are my favorites. And Queenie go, well, these are my favorites. And Stella would go, well, actually, these are my favorites. So that was easy. Anything that overlapped went into the favorites pile. But it was obviously not just a question of, let's just have an exhibition of our favorites. We also had to think about, well, we can present our favorites, but we have to obviously have a narrative and a story that we want to tell. So the selection of artworks was also, I'd say, not hindered, but we were restricted in terms of we couldn't have necessarily all our favorites. Some were still not available to us for conservation reasons. Some of the works, I'm not sure how familiar you are all with his work, but of course a lot are on oil paintings. But the works on paper are of course much more fragile. So certain works which we would have really liked to have had were not available. Other ones had been recently on loan or had recently been displayed. Other ones, perhaps the size didn't necessarily fit. So there were all sorts of, all of a sudden, constraints that we had to kind of deal with. And I think we come to, is it the next slide?
The next slide. Okay, so these are how we come together through the workshop. You could see Jennifer facilitating the entire process. And that's where we begin to develop a theme, because from our proposal, it has evolved a lot. Okay, so traveling with the master is only one of the sub-theme when we submitted our proposal. And they said, okay, perhaps we use traveling as one of the anchor, and then how do we develop the different layers is through all these workshops that we develop these concepts. Yeah, and through looking at, the works, it gives us a lot of inspiration, but it's also very challenging when selecting the artwork because we can only read the dimension. We didn't have the opportunity to see the real stuff until the day of the hanging. So you sort of like have to imagine, does this work? If this cluster together, what is the effect? And I would say the National Gallery team, they are fantastic. They guided us through the entire process.
They did.
Can see how we actually used a floor plan because at that time, learning from the master was still installed, yeah. So we have to use a floor plan to conceptualize.
在这个除了选择作品之外呢，其实我们也就是去查阅了很多资料。我们在那个图书馆里边花了很多个时间，然后我们还把那些书本也借回家，然后去，因为吴冠中先生他除了画的厉害之外，他的写作也非常好但凡他画作他觉得还没有完全把他的意思说明白的时候呢，他就会动笔写他有很多的短文这些散文这样，那我们就花了很多时间去翻阅。那这个大家看到的这个图片呢，其实是后来我们在寻找资料的时候，我们发现了他很多就是早年他刚刚在国际上出现的时候，他是怎么样走向国际的？那他怎么在国外办展览的时候，那当时的一些图录，这个部分我其实是特别感谢我们的一位朋友Jemima， 我很好的朋友那他呢借了一本就是大英博物馆当时吴冠中在大英博物馆展览的一个图录。那当时我们就在策展这个traveling 旅行这个概念的时候，那除了吴冠中本人他踏足中国、踏足国际之外，还有什么是跟这个旅行 traveling 这个有关的呢？后来其实我们发现，除了他 travel 之外，除了他旅行之外，其实他的作品也在旅行。所以呢，我们也就是把这个旅行这个概念更完善了，就在这样的帮助之下，然后我们就不断的发现新的图录所以这个大家可以看到，在展览里面，它有一系列就是早期的图录是非常重要的文献资料。
那接下来就是我们的资料收集与写作。其实我们刚开始策展的时候，其实对这个策展其实也没有太大的概念那我们把作品选出来之后，那又如何确定了这个旅行这个主题之后，如何把它就是连贯起来，画作都连贯起来，然后成为一个有机的一个整体，然后讲述一个完整的故事。那我们其实还是没有太多的想法，所以第一步是要收集资料。那其实因为吴冠中是特别知名的画家所以他的资料其实非常之多。那哪些资料是更可靠或者说更有研究价值的？那当时就 Jennifer 就推荐我们一套丛书，就是吴冠中他自己写的那个一套文丛，总共有7本。都是他自己的自述，所以这是第一手的资料然后我们就拿了就借了这些书回去就仔细研究那深入读了他的这些自述之后，我们就发现，其实吴冠中他的风景画不仅仅是好像是旅行写生，或者是就是景物的一个重现，它其实也是他的梦和他的回忆，也是他所看到眼前景象的一种提炼和升华所以就是而且吴冠中的画很多，就是他其实有具体的地点，比如他画西藏，他画张家界，或者画西双版纳。但是呢，也有很多画其实是没有具体地点的，它可能是介于抽象和这个具象之间的，然后可能是他想象或者是感性的一个产物。所以这也启发我们，就是从各个不同的角度去挖掘，就是这个旅行它的不同层次的意义。所以我们就后来就是开始构思就形成之后，就是从他的梦，可能他的梦境，抽象的梦境开始，然后通过他的回忆把我们带回到他的江南的故乡，然后再从他的故乡出发，然后踏遍他就是中国的大地，然后进而再走向世界。然后最后就是在那个可能是现实与想象的交织之中，就是结束我们的这个旅程这是我们一个构思的一个过程。然后我们其实写作的时候也是有很多波折就是一开始我们是定下就是那个就是开会讨论，定下我们每个部分要写的那个主要的重点，然后我们就分头去写英文的和中文的版本。
Yeah, Tina, you like to share the writing experience?
Yeah, so the writing experience, especially for me, was very interesting because, you know, I obviously write in English, and then I'd sort of have a rethink and I'd rewrite something. But of course, that has consequences when you're writing, and it's supposed to be a bilingual exhibition because you write something, you share it with the team. They may then go away, and I think the important thing to realize is that the team were not translating straight word for word what I was writing, or what they were writing. And so if it was the other way around, that they were writing something, then Gertrude would provide me with a translation in English. So every time we changed our minds or altered something, it's quite a lengthy process because, you know, I may decide to add in a few sentences, but actually it's not just a question of writing word for word. It's about the meaning of what I'm writing. And so they had to then go back and rewrite some of the Chinese, and then if they were writing something, then Gertrude would translate for me, and then I'd say, well, it doesn't quite sound right in English. So we were very determined that it shouldn't be a literal translation.
Yes.
It should be a Chinese version.
Definitely.
And an English version.
And, you know, I came to really, really appreciate bilingualism.
Yeah.
Because when I read those texts or section text written by Queenie and Stella, I feel so ashamed of my Chinese because they are so good and so poetic, and I scratch oh my God, how am I supposed to translate it into English, you know? That was really tough because you cannot like literally translate 踏片青山, exploring, you know, so we actually, even the section text, okay, so the first one is called Daydreaming 做梦, then 踏片青山, exploring. So exploring, if you have a direct translation called 探索, it's like not poetic. So they actually went through rounds and rounds of discussion, even for the section title. So I really appreciate, you know, learning from our Chinese expert.
我也学了很多英语，查了很多字典。可能如果大家真的是双语的话，会知道英语和华文其实是两个非常不一样的语言。中文呢是很容易走向一个文学化，很有诗意的，就是我们用很简单的字就很有诗意。但是英文呢，它是一个工作语言，它是更实用的一个语言，所以他们两个语体之间就有不一样。所以为了这个事情，我们刚刚开始写的时候，我们已经就是说不要翻译的，我们就是中文的写中文的，英文的写英文的。其实你们现在看到这个版本也不是翻译的，就是各自写的。然后呢，我们也有要求，就是在文体上我们尽量的接近。那真的就是说比较诗意化的话呢，中文是太容易了，一草一木一花一鸟一石一舍，对吧？就很容易。但是你不可能用英文
You can't say
one
one
house,
bird,
one
one
tree,
stone.
one leaf, right? That is 就是不可能的，就是比如说我们的那个 section title 也是
Beyond the horizon.
Yeah, beyond the horizon. 那你怎么去翻译呢？那我们就说行者无疆，对吧？boundless for the traveler 所以他其实也就是用了这个语言，蛮好玩的。其实真的是蛮好玩的，写双语的这个一个很好的体验。然后我们的意义的文笔是非常非常好的。
So the next section I want to talk about is how this exhibition really varies from previous Wu Guanzhong exhibitions that have been held here in the gallery. And this travel theme, actually we got terribly excited when we got together initially as a team because I've got some photos that, you know, really remind me of places that Wu Guanzhong's painted or he traveled to. Queenie's got about 30,000 photos that, you know, she's followed in his footsteps and really been a pilgrim traveling with him. Whereas for me, I was doing it the other way round. I'd actually gone on a backpacking trip in 1988 around China for 4 months. And so when I saw some of Wu Guanzhong's work much, much later in life, I was like, hey, those look like my slides. And you have on the screen here 2 of my slides that kind of really resonated with me and Wu Guanzhong's work. One is a cyclist in Lijiang. And the reason I've included this slide is because when Wu Guanzhong was traveling around China, it was in hard times, right? And conditions were difficult. And I felt an empathy with those difficult conditions because being a backpacker, a non-Mandarin speaking backpacker, I only spoke English, in 1988, traveling around China was very difficult for me. The other slide, which is of Suzhou, if you could just go back one, of Suzhou, in China also really resonates with me of many of his paintings that he did of his hometown. And then if you could skip to the next one. So this just is another example of how difficult travel was. This is me riding the bus. And you can see the arrow, that's me in backpacking. So I'm not taking plush public transport. I'm trying to get a lift or however from one place to the other. And of course, it's all with sort of sign language and, a guidebook and a little dictionary. The other slide, which is of the cricket seller in Sichuan, I've included because it is not a travel journal photography extravaganza. It's also about how Wu Guanzhong saw the beauty in the everyday. And some of the slides that I took were just ordinary moments, I would say. And this cricket seller really kind of embodies that, this kind of beauty in ordinary things and things that if you're there from that part, you would just think is just completely, why is she taking a photo of that? But it sort of resonated with me.
So those photographs that we took was the first step that inspired us to conceptualize the theme. So, Jennifer sat through and looked through all our photographs, but then we are very, very mindful. It's not a travelogue of 4 aunties, 4个大妈的旅行, who would be interested, right? So we need to, give it some, I would say, depth and a new interpretation. So we thought, okay, perhaps we could look at, the adventurous spirit of Wu Guanzhong, the relentless search of beauty, and that reminded us some of the trips that we made following the master's footsteps. Because some of us guided the very first exhibition held here in 2015, Beyond Beauty and Form, and of course, expression of pen and palette. So we went in search, of the places that he had been to. Like, for example, 2016, we made a trip, to Jiangnan area. Maybe you show us the next slide, the Jiangnan area. So we went to Hongchuan and all that. Because Jiangnan is the hometown of Wu Guanzhong. And we often say that, it's a place that really inspired him to produce his best work. So that also inspired me after the Jiangnan trip. Say, okay, if his hometown is in Jiangnan, then where exactly is my hometown? Is it the kampong that has been built over by HDB flat? Or is it my ancestor who came from, Teochew, Swatao, China? So subsequently, after the Jiangnan trip that we went, I said, okay, Mom, Dad, okay, where's our hometown? Then we said, okay, let's go and look for our hometown. So that's the picture that you see on the right side, We went in search of my hometown, Puning, because I'm Teochew. So my paternal hometown now is the Jieyang Airport, all right? It's flattened. So there's a sense of urgency. So that's how, we got the help of a local driver, come guide, just telling them our family name. He's so knowledgeable. It brought us to the hometown of my grandparents. So because of this, through the workshop, we develop another aspect of questioning this notion. Where is your hometown? Okay, hometown for Wu Guanzhong is Jiangnan. Is it a place that you are born? A place that you seek inspiration and strength? Or is it a place that you feel very safe and strong sense of belonging? So that is also how, through those pictures, and Jennifer keep facilitating us to search deeper, and we develop all these concepts.
Okay. 刚才缇娜就说我拍了3万多张照片，实际上在我的手机几乎是常年都有1-2万张照片在里面。然后跟我一起去旅行的人呢，都知道，他们都坐在车上的时候，我就跑下车去到处拍。那我拍了什么东西呢？其实我并不是一个摄影爱好者，但是拍回去，拍了这么多东西。然后当我们要做这个展览的时候，我们在翻阅这个照片的时候，我就会发现，原来吴冠中他的画作其实在对我们是有一种潜移默化的作用。比如说我拍这个安徽的碧山村，它其实有一些画作就是黑色的屋顶，然后那个四面都是黑色的屋顶，然后中间有一个庭院这样。好，然后比如说他拍他会画那个英国的这种茅草屋，还有西双版纳的这个民居，或者是巴厘岛的这些民居，他其实画的东西，然后大家可以看到我拍的这个照片，其实跟它是有一点相似的。比如说这个江西的这个婺源这个屋子前面有一大堆的这个植物，那他经常会在就是一个建筑前景呢，他就会画那些植物在前面，就是我就会发现，哎，其实我为什么就是好像有意无意都在拍按照吴冠中先生的这个画法来拍，所以其实对于我们身边的这种景色和这种美感吧，我觉得它是给我们一个很大的启发。我们会不断的发现，在我们的旅途上也好，在我们的日常生活也好，我们会不断的发现身边的美景下一个好，然后你看江西婺源也算是南方吧它的那个春天来的时候它的那个就几乎就是一个黑白的颜色，因为山就是早晨太阳还没有出来的时候，很大的雾的时候，你就看到黑色、白色、灰色，那非常像跟这个吴冠中先生他画的那个黑白故里是非常相似的，就是感觉到好像就是那个雾早晨雾在流动这样的感觉。然后在飞机上看到下面的雪山呢，就跟他现在在我们展厅里面那个冰雪天地那个感觉是一模一样的，就是你只能看到黑和白的2个颜色。然后贺兰山这张照片我拍的时候，其实我就觉得这个树枝很好看，然后我好像在哪里看过，但是我无论如何都想不起来在哪里看过。而且呢，我在这个阅读吴冠中的这个他去过什么地方的时候，他好像就没有去过宁夏。那为什么我有这一张照片，我会拍一个这样的照片呢？大家可以去展厅里面找一下。我为什么会拍这样的照片有一个油画叫水田，你们可以找找看，他画的这个树枝是不是跟我现实拍的这个树枝是一模一样的所以其实他的东西看起来不像，但是呢，其实又很像，这是他很了不起的一个地方OK。
我没有慧丽那么多几万张的照片，那旅行的次数也没有那么多，但是呢，我在就是翻阅我曾经多年前可能去旅行的一些照片的时候，也就非常神奇的发现，其实有很多可以跟吴冠中就是共鸣的地方他的作品共鸣的地方。比方说我这个是在2016年去回家乡去探亲，然后在苏州拍摄的照片。那他这个画面中的景象就跟吴冠中画作里经常表现的那个江南景象是一样，就是白墙黑瓦，然后小桥流水人家那非常有意思的是，我们这次展览在展厅里就有2幅这个吴冠中的油画，名字都叫故宅。然后他2幅非常有意思，就是都是一幅呢是画的是白墙，就是用白色来就是突出它那个白墙；一幅呢是黑瓦，就是 非常浓烈的黑色来表现那个黑色的瓦。所以就跟我这里拍的就是一左一右这2张照片是非常接近的那个构图，但是呢，在大师的笔下，他那种就是色彩那种构图就更加有那种艺术的强烈的一种艺术的效果。另外还有就是这次展览还有一幅吴冠中的作品叫做《印尼舟群》，他画的就是印尼当地那种很有特色的小船。那我找到2张我当年在泰国普吉岛旅行的时候拍的那个船的照片，我就发现其实它非常像，就是颜色都是非常鲜艳。然后右边那张就是很多船可能停泊在一起，然后呈现一些起伏的线条，就跟吴冠中那个作品其实构图也很像。但是如果你去看到展厅里吴冠中那幅画作，你就非常会能够就是被他的那种概括能力所折服，就是他很能抓住重点，就是他并不描绘这个船具体的形状，但是呢，他用这种鲜艳的色彩，而且还有这种非常流线的线条、流动的线条，就是体现出这种东南亚特有的那种非常浓郁的这种东南亚风情。
Next, we talk about co-creating the exhibition. Initially, we used the word co-curate. Jennifer, do you want to tell us why the gallery decided to change it to co-creating?
Hi. Okay. So, well, I guess, in terms of the terminology curating nowadays have been more and more widely used and also loosely used. You can curate your own playlist on Spotify, for example. So it doesn't just stay within this museological terminology. And really how we work at the National Gallery Singapore is that every member from different teams, we really do come together to create and work together. So therefore, having the docents join us this time, we would like to extend this sort of notion and philosophy so that we can all collaboratively create and also cooperatively create. Yeah. So it's a much more expansive term.
So we are not just involved in the writing. So initially we thought, okay, we have submitted our curatorial text, that's the end, we can rest. But they actually continue involving us in the exhibition design, and you can see this evidence here that we even involve us right down to choosing the wall color. Yes, so Tina, I'd like to elaborate.
We can move on to the next slide. So part of that is not just the wall color, the design, but also you'll see on the large slide there that we created a timeline of Wu Guanzhong, but actually we prefer to refer to it as his life's journey. And we were thinking we just want to keep this idea of him traveling and this idea of movement going through the whole exhibition. It's about traveling with him. And so our initial idea, we're trying to be very creative. Our initial idea was having the timeline represented by footsteps. So, important points were his different footsteps, but that didn't make it.
Okay, let me add a joke. The feedback that we got, the footsteps look like insects.
But now we have it, dotted lines resemble the rail track, train track. 像那个火车的路轨，所以我们还是把这个traveling 旅行的这个概念引入到我们的这个展厅里面的设计哈，我们可以看到这个小册子它的用的这个绿色翠绿色，就是用在我们这个踏遍青山，所以我们希望用这个颜色呢，给大家一种户外，因为青山嘛，给它户外的这样的一个感觉。这个也是通过好多轮，然后最后决定的这个颜色。当然，这个颜色不是我们决定的哈，还有我们的蔡恒博士啊，还有他们的那个美术创作的这个 team， 是很多人的合作，
所以我们这次展览就是非常也是非常幸运啊，能够就是美术馆的策展团队能够带领我们，就是从头到尾走过整个这个展览的一个过程， 那其中也包括就是展览制作这一部分，其实包括宣传、短视频、布展等等。那我们就从我们展出的这47幅的吴冠中的作品中呢，选出了10件最具有代表性，然后最具有观赏性的10件，然后就是提供给馆方的可能宣传部门。然后这是最终就是我们选择的敲定的6件作品。然后还有一个有趣的经验就是，我们还拍摄了一个短视频。那在我们展览的最后的一个部分，会有一个短视频的一个部分。那这里我们有4位导览员来讲述他们就是我们在旅途中就是跟吴冠中可能有受到他启发的一些故事然后大家有时间不妨去听一下看一下，好。
So then we came to the very exciting bit of installing the artworks, and this was the first time that we had ever seen the artworks in reality. And of course, we have a couple of star pieces here.
Who would like to guess that peeping Tom over there? But no rewards for guessing it right.
I couldn't wait to see it. So just taking a sneak peek. And this is very interesting, this Zhang Zhiji painting, because it's absolutely huge. It's 4 meters in length, and it weighs about 150 kilos. So when you're talking about installing works, it's much more of a process than one imagines. It's not just banging a nail on a wall, obviously. And this was a very exciting part for all of us, I think, to see the artworks really for the first time. Of course, many of them we had seen before.
And you can see Queenie, the supervisor, walking around, Perhaps, we'd like to point out to this photograph on our right side. Do you see a measuring tape on the floor? Okay, we chose this photograph for a particular reason. The co-creation process is really very helpful and insightful for us because we go down to the exact measurement of the distance between the artwork to bring out the beauty of the artwork. And this one, we really had the guidance and as well as the, I would say, the input from all the professionals. So we actually measure, no, we have to be like right down to 10 centimeters, 5 centimeters in order to give, the visitors the best experience.
而且这2幅作品本来它们的位置其实是相反的，就是我们把它调整过了。就是在展厅里面呢，其实有很多组的这个作品，我们是调整过它的摆放的位置，可能是几幅放在一起，可能是单独的放一个。就是在现场的时候，我们都要做这些调整啊。还有一些灯光怎么样去把那个作品打得比较好看，还有用了一些新的技术，就是把一些，比如说这个小幅的那个。就是蓝色、白色那个哈，它放了这种蓝色的 gel 下去之后呢，就是那个可能就是一种过滤的那种胶片吧，然后它打下来的光呢，就可以把这个作品上面所有的那种细节。不同层次的颜色全部都显现出来，就是在它之前这个没有这个灯光的时候，我们就只看到大概是一个深蓝色，大概是一个什么颜色。但是在这种灯光之下呢，它会把它就是艺术家他使用到的颜色所有的细节都能够看出来，所以大家去看的时候仔细的看一下。这个是我们的馆长啊，来参观，就是我们在布展的时候，他来了解我们这个展览的情况。
Yeah, so this was us giving a preview to the director of the National Gallery, and this is really the first time we're kind of taking somebody through officially and sharing our thoughts and our with an outsider, as it were. Not that he's an outsider, of course, but just to really present it to somebody. It was a very exciting moment.
I wasn't there, so 2 of you nervous?
Yeah. okay, weren't we? I think we
他
were.
很有耐心的就听我们讲完整个展览，好像听说是比较例外的是吧？一般。
So these are some of our personal thoughts about the project. We think it's a very audacious project by the National Gallery. It's a very bold decision of them to trust us with the co-creation of this project. And of course, I think we felt quite courageous embarking upon this project, wondering what we'd let ourselves in for. But of course, it's actually we're just representing the docent community. It's not just us, it's for everyone who's a docent here at the National Gallery and at the other museums. It's just a sharing of our knowledge, which is really what we're about. And so that's our kind of democratic point there, that we think the National Gallery is really trailblazing in that.
That is one of the reasons we chose a theme, traveling, because it's very relatable. Whether you're a visitor, a docent, you can always bring in your travel stories, your perspective, and connect with Wu Guanzhong. So that is what we meant by democratic. So another way of looking at democracy is also the gallery. I think it is a very bold attempt, 胆大包天, okay, a very bold attempt to get 4 rookies, say come and do a Wu Guanzhong, exhibition. I think that's very bold. Who would, trust 4 docents to, co-create I would say, a special exhibition. And I would also share with you from my heart that it's a very democratic process. It's not like Jennifer tell you, okay, you should look at this way. So to share with you, when we wanted to start with abstract daydreaming, so please go and see the exhibition. The first section is section 1, daydreaming, 5 abstract work of Wu Guanzhong. Even the senior curators and the project director have doubt, are you sure? We usually start off with figurative work, so we slowly ease people into abstract. We said no. And we have a rationale, and we explained, and they accepted it. So go take a look at the exhibition later on.
我们4个人的合作呢，你们相信吗？我们没有吵过一次架，也没有争论过什么，就是大家有什么主意提出来，大家一心就想，如果这个主意是对这个展览好的话，没有二话，直接就用，从来没有半句，没有一个人有脸红过哈。反正大家见到什么就做什么，都很主动、很积极，真的非常好，非常幸运有他们一起做伙伴，
对，就像慧丽讲的，我们这一次合作就是非常的愉快的一个经历，而且我相信都是对我们来讲都是非常难忘的。其实一开始，直到我们有这个机会来参与这个策展的时候，是可以讲又是非常兴奋，其实又是还蛮紧张的。至少对我来讲是完全就是一个新的体验，而且是一个很大的一个挑战，但是就是非常感谢就是 Jennifer， 然后还有就是新加坡美术馆的这个团队然后帮助我们整个就是引导我们经过这整个的这个过程，然后我们一次一次的就是工作坊，然后讨论，一次次的然后可能做作业，
做作业，
线上会议，
对，我们线上会议，然后在现场的我们也是经过好多次会议，然后我们每个礼拜2上午10点准时交作业，然后有时候因为时间比较赶，我们可能还要加班加点开夜车挑灯夜战，这样经过这个过程，其实然后后来这个在大家的这个共同的合作下，这个展览慢慢成型，然后今天终于就是正式开幕，呈现在大家的眼前。感觉有点像做梦，好像真的就是这一切，就是没想到真的就这样实现了。
做梦变成梦想成真。
对对对，就是真的是一个梦想成真的时刻。
我们的做梦变 daydreaming become a reality, So we sum it up, 爽 exhilarating, 爽真的很爽，但是又是精疲力尽。It's exhausting, and really without the entire National Gallery team, I don't think we can make it. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
if you ask what is one word before we end off, one word we wish we could include.
Yeah, we just thought that we mentioned the artwork selection, and so the one work I wish that we could have included is the Great Buddha of Le Mountain, which I know we've had before, but I have this wonderful slide to share with you about going there and seeing that exact place.
For me, it will be, this one, Wu Guanzhong, glowing in the sun, it is also our WhatsApp group, icon, okay? I'll keep that simple.
这一幅画名字叫做《朱墨春山》啊，它其实名字来自于鲁迅的一首诗。那鲁迅是一个中国著名的作家，然后吴冠中是非常崇拜他。那鲁迅的家乡也是在江南，他是在浙江绍兴。那可能吴冠中最早开始画江南，也是受到了这个鲁迅的启发。在我们这次展览中有展出一个1979年的一个展览图录里面。就收录了就是吴冠中的一幅画的是鲁迅故居百草园。那这可能是吴冠中第一次就他的作品走出国门。那在这样一个重要的展览里，他就是选择出这样一幅作品，说明鲁迅对他的影响是非常深的。那在这幅作品里，我就觉得非常吸引我的是，它里面有很多流动的线条啊。那我们通常可能会见到这些线条用来表现流水，但是它用同样的线条来表现这种山脉的这种起伏，我觉得非常别具一格。希望将来的展览能够这幅作品能够再展出，让大家看到。
这个作品呢，其实对我来讲是一个有非常特殊的存在哈。2016年开始吧，因为我们2015年有那个大美无垠吴冠中的展览，然后我们一群导览员就一起去江南旅行，然后去到那个地方看到什么？哇，吴冠中，哇，吴冠中，都是吴冠中哈。但是这个特别的地方呢，这个地方在新疆 ，OK？ 那我在1年之内去了3次这个地点，然后你就是真正的，就是对吴冠中的这个艺术创作是非常折服的。他如何用点，如何用线，如何用面，把这个遗址，这个遗址呢，大概就是以前的居师古国。它是在汉朝时候就有了，就是古丝绸之路上它的一个古国，有2000多年历史，然后直到13、14世纪，因为战乱才被就是毁掉，就是我们现在看到就是一个遗址这个地方。好，那我们想展出这个地方，因为想展出这个作品，最后没有展，是因为之前他在新加坡这个国家美术馆展过，然后好像也借展到清华大学，所以他需要休息，所以没办法展出来。然后这个特别的地点在哪里呢？我这里给大家一个悬念，希望下一次吴冠中展览的时候，把他这一幅作品介绍出来的时候，我再告诉大家这个地点在哪里，又或者马上跟我报名，我们一起去这个地方也可以。OK， 谢谢大家。
谢谢。
So once again, thank you very much for this very insightful behind-the-scenes sharing and also a lot of nuggets. We decided to share that last part because really everyone put in a lot of effort in terms of selecting the artworks. It wasn't easy because there's 129 pieces. There's a lot of considerations regarding conservation reasons as well. Of course, the gallery space is it's a fixed space, so in terms of measurements and sizes, there's really a lot of considerations there. But I guess last but not least, I think the team has repeatedly mentioned and shared that this indeed is a very exciting and novel project that the gallery has decided to work on. My colleagues and I mean, we've worked on the past 5 Wu Guanzhong exhibition, and I guess honestly, inevitably we are somewhat inspired by Wu Guanzhong's spirit as well in terms of to continuously innovate and to find new ways to better connect and to dialogue with our many different audiences. So I guess without further ado, maybe we can do a Q&A. We can open up to the floor. If you have any questions, just raise your hand and one of our team member will hand you the mic. Any questions right now? No? Oh, there is. Yes, miss.
Hi, thank you very much for sharing. Just a general question. Are you considering doing this again in the future? Only 6 Wu Guanzhong, so 129 artworks.
Well, from the museum point of view, I guess we're always very open for such opportunities and new projects in the future. We will see how this project goes. So remember to write down your feedback at the end of this program and also after visiting our show. And we will see from there. But maybe to the team as well, do you want to do this again?
In fact, I asked them, do you want us again? Because it's really tough on the National Gallery part because they have to work with so many stakeholders and constituents. And you can see 4 of us are very vocal and we talk non-stop, and managing, us so well, I think it's quite a tough feat for Jennifer. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jennifer.
It's my pleasure. Yeah, it was a very fun project, to be honest. Yeah.
I guess Sarah will feel the fun, so she wants to be next docent curator.
Yes, miss.
My question is, we've heard a lot about what the docents learned from working with the museum, but what did the museum learn from working with the docents?
Well, I think it's about learning to be open, sharpening your listening skills, that's for sure. How to work together in a different way. I mean, the team has mentioned quite a few, like say, for example, our AVL team, introduced new lighting. Our artwork and exhibition management team, they also bring in new perspective and also exhibition designs. One part that maybe I can add on in terms of the traveling aspect was how our designers and us, we were thinking about how to bring Wu Guanzhong, the master himself, back, because we're traveling with the master, right? So that's why we decided to use like photographs that has been deposited by the family in our library archive to create this sort of translucent fabric panels in the exhibition space. This is our first time using a fabric material as partitions, as opposed to making new walls, So there's a lot of little bits and pieces. I mean, for example, like this event, first time we're doing a bilingual event with simultaneous translation. So I think it's really upholding the spirit to continuously innovate, and find better ways to connect and to dialogue. Yeah.
Sorry, I just add a little bit to add to Jennifer's point as part of the Wu Guanzhong team. I think we open this program is we have to give the self-re-examination as curator. Don't always hold kind of like an elitist position. You think you understand all the whole art history, you understand what's curation. So we have did about a serious Wu Guanzhong show. We kind of dry off the ideas as well. So we made a decision to invite docents. And it come out, it's very good, fantastic, because they are very creative, innovative, provide different perspective to us, to let us to reconsidering, how to better exhibitions to the audiences. I just give you an interesting example. This time you will first time to see the panda painting after 2015. I mean, this came from the curator's bias. I never select the panda for any Wu Guanzhong show from the 2015. Because it's probably we already have certain kind of stereotype thinking as well from what we believe the curatorial, what is the artistic virtue in the painting show. But this time, when the docents putting the panda into the exhibition space, we also look at from a different perspective, more refreshing perspectives, and try to understand why
those visitors and audiences are so fascinated, excited by this type of works. So we definitely learn a lot from the docents, yeah.
Strangely, the panda painting was the one work that all 6 proposals wanted. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, she's Dr. Tai Heng, our senior curator.
What is the, this is good art, that's not very good, but sometimes we could be very wrong. And sometimes we probably just into our own world. We don't know what the audiences and the visitors really want to see and what is their point of view.
有问题的话，中文发问也可以的哦。
非常精彩，我也是第一次能近距离来听大家讲那个吴冠中。那我想问一下，因为这次展览都是有与意，是以不同地方的作品来展现吴冠中的作品。那我想问一下，有没有可能探讨一下吴冠中对于创作在地化的一种概念？就是说他在不同的地方所创作的风格会有不同吗？谢谢。
其实不是学术的探讨哈，但是你说的就是说，吴冠中他每到一个地方，他会不会自己的风格会当地化、在地化？我觉得哈，他踏遍青山，为的是找寻能够给他的灵感，而不是说他到那个地方就按照那个地方的画法来建立一个风格。比如说他到印尼看到印尼舟群，那他说看到那些舟群有眼睛，然后有很多色彩，所以他把那个浮在水面上、海面上那个动感画下来。但是这个风格并不是印尼的风格，但是他画的是印尼的风土人情。我觉得我们要这样看会比较容易理解。
Maybe to add to what this gentleman has asked, is it essentially did the landscape influence his style? Okay, this is my personal interpretation. The landscape inspired him, but not dictate his style. He is trying to use what he sees to innovate his own Wu Guanzhong style. So we have used a few examples. For example, Jiangnan. So we use Jiangnan as a good example in the sense that we've picked out his oil and his ink. And then from the oil, we can see that how he tried to use, gray, and white, which all the Russian painter told him, you can't paint Jiangnan in this kind of color. And not only that, Jiangnan is awful to paint because it's always black and white, not suitable for oil. He said, no, I will innovate. Jiangnan give me the inspiration, I will use my own style to do it. And then we use another cluster to illustrate his idea, his innovation, is the paddy fields. So you can see us lined up 3 paddy fields together, same subject matter, but the 3 paddy fields are executed in 3 different manners. So this is what we want to try to tell you. It's the landscape that inspired him, but he was never dictated by the landscape. He was the one who innovated his own style, and therefore he is Wu Guanzhong, and none other than Wu Guanzhong.
我是王丽凤，我想跟大家分享一下，因为我有幸跟吴冠中先生工作了，就是拍摄了他一个纪录片。他在新加坡1990年来新加坡的时候，那么他刚好有一些时间，我花的差不多3、4天的时间跟他一起工作。那么在工作的过程中呢，是有一点点感受了，很大的感受，所以印象很深刻。那么刚才先生您问的那个问题呢，我觉得吴冠中先生呢，他虽然他来到很多地方，他写生，他也就是也写意，不过最重要的就是写情，他要有感情，他才能够绘画。 呀，所以很多时候我带他到一个地方去，他可能就很他是很谦虚的一位老先生，他也不会说拒绝还是怎么样。不过他就是如果是不会感动他的话，他是不会画的。所以尽管是任何一个风景呢，他都会因为他有感触，所以才画。所以是他自己的风格呀，这是我对他的一点点的了解了。
Well, okay, I just received a signal to wrap up this event. So thank you very much.